The most disturbing thing about the new Melania movie is the director, who actually appears in the Epstein files, and here's the proof. The director of the film, who was handpicked by Melania Trump, is Brett Ratner. Now, Brett was a famous Hollywood director. He directed films like Rush Hour, but in 2017, 6 different women came forward and said that he had perpetuated sexual violence against them. This included actress Olivia Munn, who stated that Brett Ratner masturbated in front of her and then told others that they had had sex, which they hadn't. Actress Natasha Henstridge, who has claimed in the past that Brett Ratner forced her to give him oral sex. And there are just so many actresses and so many allegations. So in the middle of the Me Too movement, when all these allegations came to light, Brett Ratner was kind of shuttered out of Hollywood. But according to all reporting, he is now trying to force his way back into Hollywood through this film. Yes, this is a picture of Brett Ratner, P. Diddy, and Trump and Melania. But also, Brett Ratner is a very good friend of Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel. And Ratner himself even emigrated to Israel in 2023. And I will let you make of that what you will. But Ratner was also a very good friend of Jeffrey Epstein's. But Brett Ratner's recent appearance in the Epstein files is even more disturbing than it looks on the surface. So here he is in this picture. This was released by the DOJ, and this is clearly at one of Epstein's properties or on some sort of a trip. So Brett Ratner is hugging a shirtless Jean-Luc Brunel. Well, who was Jean-Luc Brunel? He was Epstein's kind of business partner in a way. He supplied young girls to Epstein. He was a notorious pedophile and sex offender himself who basically pimped out women and engaged in sex and human trafficking. And curiously enough, Jean-Luc Brunel, just like his good buddy Epstein, hanged himself in prison, allegedly, before he could ever see his day in court. A lot of people think that Jean-Luc Brunel was obviously taken out in the same fashion that Epstein was, because both of them were silenced before they could really share any information about what they knew. But that's what makes this photograph even darker. Brett Ratner was not just in a photo with Epstein. He seems to be on some sort of a trip or at one of Epstein's properties, and he's with Jean-Luc Brunel. So now you've got all 3, I'm assuming Ghislaine was there too, of the pimps, the main pimps that we know in this operation. And Brett Ratner is friendly with all of them. He's so friendly with them, in fact, that he's hugging a shirtless Jean-Luc Brunel, notorious sex offender and pedophile's waist. And I do find this incredibly disturbing that Melania and Trump insisted on having Ratner direct this film when they knew what the 6 women had alleged he had done to them, which is incredibly disturbing. But it makes sense. It really seems like everybody in the Trump administration or the Trump orbit is some sort of pedophile or sex offender. So why not make the director of Melania's biopic film one too?